Here are 3 ways to improve your photo editing using luminosity masks in Photoshop. I'll use my free plugin to demonstrate this because it means you can skip all of the complicated steps that you'd have to follow otherwise doing it the manual way. And if you don't have it already, you can download the plugin for free from the link in the description below this video. But with that said, let's jump right in. So starting off, we can see the shot's quite dark. Obviously, I've underexposed to retain the highlights in the sky there. So the first thing I want to do is just kind of brighten the image up to get it in the ballpark of where I would like the finished image brightness to be. My favorite way of doing this is to duplicate the background, right click on the duplicated layer, convert to smart object, and then run the camera raw filter. Now from here, I'm going to raise the exposure just so that the majority of the image looks kind of my preferred brightness. And this is going to highlight the first issue that we're going to fix with the luminosity mask, because the sky over here is getting too bright. If I use these whites and highlight sliders to try to recover that, then it kind of affects parts of the image that I don't want it to affect. And there's always a threat of it kind of looking a bit too HDR-ish. So we're going to leave the sliders alone there. And also, let me show you, this is going to be the second thing that we're going to sort out with luminosity masks. These sort of rocks in the foreground here are too dark as well, even having brightened the whole image up. And you'll see that using the shadows or the black sliders here, it's affecting the whole image, whereas I only want to affect the shadows and blacks down in these specific areas. And also, when we're using sliders like this, the more we push them, the more HDR-ish the result is going to look. So we're going to reset these, and we're just going to go with the exposure increase. So let me click OK to apply that. So that's pretty good. Now, like I said, the sky over here is just a bit too bright. We're starting to lose a little bit too much of the color. So first, let me show you the problem with not using a luminosity mask to recover this. Now, the process would be, you can brush straight onto the smart filter layer mask here, but I tend to prefer, I don't know why, it's just habit really, but I'll close that and I'll add a layer mask onto the layer itself. So I've got the brush tool selected, I've got black foreground, white background, I've got a 30% opacity on the brush, and if I right click in here, then we can see the hardness is 0. I'm going to click on the layer mask and I'll increase the brush size like so. And the idea here is to basically brush into this part of the sky that I want to darken. Now that looks okay until I hold shift on the keyboard and just turn the mask on and off, and we can see that it's not only affecting the bright parts there, it's also kind of, in order to get to these bits of the sky behind this dark island, I've had to brush over the edges of that dark island, and you can see that there. So the way that luminosity masking can help with this is if I just remove that layer mask, add a new one, and I can load a luminosity selection, which is going to act like a stencil for me to brush through into that layer mask. So what I mean by that is, using the free luminosity masking plugin, we have this bar across the top, and there are these buttons from -5 through to, well, it doesn't say +5, but I suppose it's +5. And pressing any one of these buttons is going to load a selection based on the brightness of the image. On the left, if we start over here, a -5, that's going to select the darkest shadows. So I'll press that now, and you'll see roughly that's represented with the selection that's loaded. It's kind of highlighting the darkest shadows in the image. And then the closer you go through the selections up to -1, the more kind of lenient those shadows are, in terms of it's not only the darkest shadows that it's selecting. So basically a -1 is selecting the dark half of the histogram, a -5 is selecting only the very darkest pixels, and the numbers in between are in between. So 0 is going to select midtones, a 1 is going to select the light half of the histogram, and then as we go up into the higher numbers here, we can see it's getting more and more isolated to only the brightest highlights. So knowing this, I'm going to assume or guess that I want somewhere between a highlights 2 and a 3. So let me load a highlights 2, and I'll hide the marching ants because they get in the way of me being able to see what I'm brushing into. So Control or Command H on the keyboard hides the selection but keeps it active. Now I can click on the layer mask, and with that big brush I can brush around here in the sky, and you'll see if I toggle this layer mask off and on, the island is not being affected because I brushed through a stencil that doesn't allow the brush to go over the shadows. So if I alt click on the layer mask, you can see the outline there of the island. Because the island is a shadow, I selected only the highlights, created my stencil based on those highlights, and I was able to brush into the sky, and it affected the highlights without affecting the shadows. So the second way that I'm going to show you how to improve your images and your editing using luminosity masks is by demonstrating the brightening process for these shadows in these darkest rocks. Now, first, to show you the problem so that you kind of understand why this is a big deal, first I'll do it kind of the non-luminosity masking way. So let's use a curves adjustment just to brighten the image until those shadows in those dark rocks look like they're not completely underexposed. So it's quite an extreme curve and it's totally messing the rest of the image up, but that's okay because we're actually going to mask this adjustment into those shadow areas. So the next thing we need to do is invert the layer mask. So click on the mask itself, Control or Command I, and that inverts the mask, turns it black, and completely hides this adjustment from view. So now what we want to do is basically use a white brush. So brush tool, X to switch the foreground and background colors, click on the mask. And then the way to do this without using a luminosity mask would have been to basically, with a white brush again, start brushing into these areas that we want to reveal this adjustment in. So I'll just do that, just go around here roughly. And at first glance, it's kind of doing a decent job. You know, we're bringing some of that detail back into those darkest underexposed shadows. And maybe you can see what's going on here, maybe you can see what's going wrong as I'm doing it, but it will become more evident when I toggle this off and on in just a second, because if I alt click on the mask to show you what that mask looks like, there's a very low level of accuracy there on those brush strokes. And when I toggle this layer off and on, you can see the effect of that low accuracy on the image, because yes, the rocks are being brightened, but so is everything else that I brushed over the edges into. And that basically is creating these horrible halos that really it's very easy for them to sneak into your editing while you're doing it. And it's only afterwards when you toggle stuff off and on that you can really notice. And these are the kind of mistakes that sneak in. They make it all the way through to your finished edit, and then you go and print something, and then you're sitting there a week later looking at your lovely photo on the wall and you notice there's a damn halo. So we're going to use luminosity masking to fix this now. So I'm going to duplicate this curves adjustment just so that I can have a direct comparison. So we'll turn off the original one, and I will Control Delete to reset the layer mask to hide that adjustment again. So we've got the original one down here, and then we've got this one again ready to mask into. This time, instead of just using a brush all willy-nilly, I'm going to load a selection, again, that's going to act like a stencil for my brush so that I only brush into the bits I want to brush into. So I'm going to load a shadows 5 or a -5 selection, because that's going to create a selection that isolates those darkest pixels in the image. I'm going to hide the marching ants so we can see a rough representation of what's selected there. And if I just brush through that selection into the layer mask, you know, we can see those rocks are starting to get brighter. But like I said, I do like to hide these marching ants. So Control H or Command H, and I can just as quickly as before just brush around here all willy-nilly, going over these darkest rocks. And we can see they're being brightened. But this time, when I show you the layer mask by holding Alt on the keyboard or Option on a Mac, and then clicking on the mask, we can see the difference in the level of accuracy between this version and this version. So this is the freehand non-luminosity masking way, and this is using a luminosity mask. So accurately brightening dark shadows is the second method that I wanted to show you. Now onto the third, which follows on from this shadow lifting, because you'll notice here that because the image started off really quite dark, it was very underexposed, and these rocks are basically volcanic black rock, so they're very, very dark anyway. Brightening them as much as I have has revealed some, especially some color noise. You can see kind of red and green patches, and yeah, this is on my old camera, which doesn't have as good a sensor as cameras do these days, but you can see there's noise and color noise in here. And my favorite tool for noise reduction is actually the camera raw filter again. So what I'll do is just create a merged stamped copy of the image. I can't remember the keyboard combination to do that, so I'll do it via the menu. So we'll go select all, edit, copy merged, edit, paste. Let us know in the comments what that is, and for everyone else's benefit if you remember. But anyway, we've got that copied layer on top now, so I can turn this into a smart object, and from here I can run the camera raw filter again, and let's zoom in to those dark rocks, and let's go to the detail section, and we can start using the noise reduction. So let's use the color noise reduction first, and you can see there this is off, this is on 100%, and hopefully you can see the difference coming through in the in the video. I'm not sure what the YouTube compression is going to do, but yeah, here we can see there's a lot of green and red blotches here. Those have disappeared. Just for the sake of this example, I'll run this on 100% strength, just so that it's obvious the difference it's making. And then maybe there's a little bit of noise reduction we can also add, but with that comes a bit of softness. So let's add some sharpening back into this area. And that is actually a fairly nice kind of recovery there. So let me toggle this off and on, this whole section, this detail section, off, on, off, on. Pretty good. But the problem is it's affected the entire image, which we don't necessarily want, especially in the water here. Like, sharpening never looks good in smoothed out water like this. So let's click OK to apply this change. And you could go ahead and use the masking in the same way as what I showed you for bringing through the shadows using that curves adjustment. But just to mix things up and show you another way that you can do this on a more kind of global shadows basis without brushing them in, and it's a lot quicker this way as well. So if we accept that we want these changes to be applied in the shadows only, then what we can do before we add a layer mask is load one of the shadow selections. So let's go with a -3 or 4, and now we'll click on that layer that contains those changes, and we'll add a layer mask. And because the selection is active at the point where we're adding the layer mask, that selection gets loaded directly into the layer mask, therefore making it a luminosity mask. So let me show you. Alt click on that, so we can see the lighter the areas in this mask, the more this noise reduction layer is affecting those areas. So let's have a look at the actual effect of that. So zoomed in at 100%, toggle off, toggle on, and we can see the effect coming through in the rocks there, and also in the main sort of island up here, the main subject, but not so much in the water. Now, one more thing that I'll show you actually is a bit of a pro tip. If I alt click on the mask to show you the mask again, because the thing about luminosity masking is that an adjustment or a layer is only fully masked in or out in an area if the mask is pure white or pure black in that area. When in reality, 99.9% of the time we're working with different shades of grey. So what that means is, even though these dark rocks are the lightest thing in the mask, so those are the areas where this layer is being affected the most, the fact that the water, we can see the water is a shade of grey, that means that it is being applied to some degree still in the water. So here's the pro tip. If you click on the mask and then bring up a levels adjustment, which you can do by on the keyboard pressing Control or Command and L, this is a bit of a kind of a shortcut to eliminate and alter the mask to really isolate further into the shadows, or if it was the other way around, the highlights. And the way we do that is by basically increasing the contrast of this mask using the levels adjustment. So we can make the dark greys blacker by moving the black point here in the levels adjustment. We can make the whites whiter, and then the midpoint here we can adjust, and really we kind of just do this by eye, but effectively the blacker the water is here, the more this adjustment is going to be masked out, and the brighter white we make the light parts, the more it's masked in. So just for argument's sake, let's click OK on that. We'll zoom in and we should see that this is basically having zero effect on the water, especially through this area here now. But when we zoom in and we look at the actual rocks, they still are taking on this noise reduction adjustment. So that's what I wanted to show you today. If you haven't yet got my free plugin, you can download that from the link in the description below this video. Or if you want to see what other cool things you can do with luminosity masking in Photoshop, then you can watch this next video.